and it's going to be a fantastic night for the Vikings. They're going to whip some ass. They're going to give the Vikings fans a great Christmas present. Going to move to 8-7, keep the NFC North Division alive, make a big time statement for the playoff placing, and just go from there.
What is up, y'all? We are back again with another video. I got a lot to speak about today, man. Lions, they win at US Bank Stadium against the Vikings. They get it done, 30-24, in a very entertaining game. I got to talk about that, but first, let me get to my first order of business, alright? So, as of late, if you guys have watched my live streams, you know I've been talking about this guy. Purple Podcast for the win. This dude, you saw him in the intro. He has some of the worst takes I've ever seen on the internet. There are plenty of people that do have really bad takes, but some of them are trolls. So the thing with this dude, I do not know if he is a troll. I cannot tell because his takes are so bad that sometimes you think that people actually have like this bad of takes. And this is a great example. So the problem with this guy, every chance he gets, downgrades the Lions, talks crap about them, talks crap about the players. He was talking all this crap about the Lions before the game. The Lions are going to get their ass kicked. They're going to get destroyed by the Vikings. It's going to be a blizzard. They're going to get destroyed. Yeah, look what happened.
Take him to Detroit. No! No, not Detroit! No! No, please! Anything but that! No!
So I created a little compilation of all the moments of this guy that I could find of him being an idiot. Yeah, here you go. This is Purple Podcast for the win.
I mean, the Lions fans, they're getting a taste this offseason of expectations and hype. Are a lot of them buying in? I don't know. Or are they just comfortably numb at this point? We're losing. We're going to keep on losing. We can't win a playoff game with Stafford and Megatron. I'm not ready to crown their ass. If you want to crown their ass, go ahead, crown their ass. I'm not ready to do it, man. But I still think that the Vikings, it's their division to lose. Again, I'm not ready to be kissing the Lions' ass. I think the Vikings are going to show up and show out. The Vikings are going to have a top 3 offense in the league. The defense is going to be super opportunistic under Brian Flores.
6. I got the Lions up 2 spots. Congratulations for barely beating the Saints. We've actually been there. But they waltz in against their first quality opponent of the year. No, I don't count the Chiefs week 1 without Chris Jones and Travis Kelce. And then the Lions just shat on themselves. I mean, all of the, hey, Ben Johnson is the offensive genius. Hey, this defense is good to go. Wah, 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 wah. Not so much. We coming, by the way. We coming. 7.
I think the Vikings are going to feast. I think it's going to be glorious. Getting to 8-7, oh thank heaven, and the Vikings are going to whip somebody's ass, and it's going to be the Lions. Because guess what? Vikings' next 2 games are at home against division rivals. A lot of the simulators, they move up to around 99%. How can the Vikings lose a 99%er? If and when they do beat the Lions and the Packers week 16 and 17 respectively. So
the national media, Jabroni Haircuts, just openly root and applaud the Lions. Good job, little fellas. You haven't won the division since 93. Good job. No, a little pat on the head. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, man. But it is what it is, and the Vikings are allegedly 7-8 and currently on the outside looking in at the playoffs.
So as y'all can see, that dude, I don't know, just delusional is the best word I could use to describe him, honestly. Terrible takes, talks crap about the Lions, never gives them an ounce of respect, and when he even does, he will literally say oh, but this sucks about them and they suck because of this. So he can't even give them an ounce of respect. You might see it in the power rankings, he gives them respect, but that's because if you put him at the bottom like he does with the Packers in his power ranking videos, he would literally lose so much of a following of his guys or his subscribers, because that's just straight up delusional. The Lions are literally now, after the game, 11-4. And they're cooking, man. They are cooking. They want some more. They want to go to the playoffs. They want to go to the bowl. Once again, I do not know if that will happen. It most likely won't, but depending on who they play, it's possible. It's possible depending on who they play. But I want to also talk about like his fans or all these toxic Vikings fans. Y'all can't even give the Lions an ounce of respect. Y'all will literally be like, "Oh, it was poor officiating. It was poor officiating for the Lions or the Vikings. They got poor officiating. It was terrible. It was so one-sided, and the Lions, they got away with the win that shouldn't have happened." It's an asterisk. The new term, guys, is an asterisk. It was not an asterisk win for the Lions. There was poor officiating on both sides, but mainly towards the Lions, and let me tell you why. So, I'm going to insert this photo right now. On a huge catch, a great catch, by the way, made by Justin Jefferson. I have no problem with him. He's a fantastic player. It's short of the line to gain, so 4th and 1. So Vikings are running down the field. They're trying to go. They're trying to get back to the line and get this 4th down, right? No, they spike it. So therefore, the game should be ended, right? Because they spiked on the 4th and 1. It would be turnover on downs, and the Lions will get the ball and end the game. Apparently, that's not how it works. Because despite the ref literally spotting the ball behind the line to gain, nope, doesn't matter. The Vikings just keep the ball and they keep going. And they almost won because of it. Almost won because of that crappy call. And there was multiple calls against, or that should have been against the offensive lineman for holding. Never called. A couple face masks too I saw during the game, especially one. I think it was on a kick return too. And then one on Jahmyr Gibbs as well. So I don't want to hear crap from the toxic Vikings fans about the poor officiating for them. Because it was on both sides, but it was mainly catered towards the Lions. The Lions got terrible officiating. And it almost cost them the game, as I said earlier. Anyway, next thing. Let's talk about the actual good part. The Lions' performance, now that we got that garbage out of the way. Let's talk about the Lions' performance. The Lions, they did not do terrible today. They had some good parts and they had some bad parts. Pretty much, the offense, they were cooking originally. They started off a little slow, but towards the end of the half, they started cooking, and then the defense lets it up. So it's 17-14 going into the half. The defense had been good up until that, and then right out of the half, touchdown Vikings. So now the Lions were down 21-17, and the offense had to get their act together. From what I remember, I don't think the Lions scored, or if they did, it was a very long drive. That's their first drive coming out of the half. But they eventually got back up. I forgot the score at that time, but they were cooking. They were getting back in their rhythm. The game honestly looked like it could have been over. But then it was 30-21. Vikings, they get a field goal. And here comes the part that I'm mad about. So, the Lions, they had a chance to end it. It was 30-24. It was like 2nd and 7. False start. Okay, we'll fix it. Let's get back into this. Delay of game. And then it's 2nd and 17 because of those two penalties. And then it's 3rd and 16 because they decide to run it, and it's only a 1-yard gain, and then they run it again for 3 yards. So that was my main problem. There was just really bad clock management towards the end of the game. But as a whole, the Lions, they did their thing. They did their thing. They got out of there with the dub, and this is the rare time you will ever see me say a win is a win. And that's the reason why I say that is because this was a game that was crucial. The Lions, all they had to do was just get out of this game with a win. It could have been ugly. It could have been a low-scoring game like the Vikings had against the Raiders of 3-0. It could have been something like that. It could have been a terrible, like the Chargers game that we had earlier this season, full offense, no defense. They just had to get out of this with a dub. Because at that point, then we're clinched into not only the playoffs, but we have won the division now. We're division champs. So it's crazy that I can say that now because I had never seen that in my lifetime. But now I want to talk about the individual players, because there were some players in this game who cooked. They did very good. And then there's others who struggled a bit. Nobody did particularly bad. The only person who I'm really kind of angry at this game is Cam Sutton. Cam Sutton has been solid the entire season, but these past couple games he's been a little bit rough. He's just hasn't done as much as I would like him to. And this game was a great example of that. He did go against Jay Jettas, or Justin Jefferson, for some of the snaps. But regardless, you've been practicing, you should try to at least hold him to 100 yards. And Jay Jettas had a phenomenal game, burnt Cam Sutton all the time throughout the game. But yeah, that's really the only bad player I could honestly say for this game, because a lot of the players actually did solid. Another one that I was kind of iffy on was Hutchinson. He did once again get held a lot during the game, but you can only do so much at that point. So Hutchinson was getting held. Nobody else on the line even got, I think nobody else got a sack today except for two linebackers. I think it was Anzalone and Melifonwu, who I want to talk about later, so I'll get to that in a second. But Hutchinson didn't do much today, hasn't done much this season. It's been kind of like a sophomore slump for him. I think he'll bounce back next year, but hopefully he can pick it up in the playoffs. And then as for the good performances, there was quite a few people. Jahmyr Gibbs, phenomenal. Jahmyr Gibbs, Dave Montgomery, you guys did phenomenal today. I love what I saw. Great vision from Gibbs. Great fight from both running backs. They did what had to be done. They played gritty. They did the dirty work. They were in the trenches, fighting for yards that we needed at times, very much needed. And they got the job done. Gibbs on a 4th and 1 got a huge run, put us in the red zone. We got a touchdown off of that drive. So, yeah, there were some crucial plays made by those two individuals. And in the receiving game also, Amon-Ra St. Brown, phenomenal. I think he had 100+ yards, and he had a touchdown as well, so he did very good today. Jared Goff did okay. He struggled initially. He's kind of like how the offense operated as a whole. He struggled initially, got his groove going again, and then kind of tapered down towards the end of the half, or towards the end of the game. So he didn't do bad. I'd give him a 6.5 or a 7 out of 10. He didn't do terrible. But yeah, once again, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Amon-Ra, phenomenal. Laporta didn't really do too much. J-Mo had a couple good catches that were very crucial, so shout out to him. We've been seeing him a lot recently. But yeah, Khalif Raymond, Josh Reynolds didn't do too much. Josh Reynolds got 1 or 2 big catches, same with Khalif Raymond, but nothing crucial, or nothing too crazy. And then as for the defense, Kirby Joseph, my man, Kirby Joseph and Melifonwu, phenomenal game from those two. I think Kirby Joseph got 2 picks, or maybe no, I don't think he got 3. I think he got 2. And Melifonwu, he got a phenomenal pick. Pick to end the game. The Vikings were charging down in the Lions' territory. They're marching down the field, and the Lions shut them down. Did not allow anything because of Melifonwu. They stopped them. The Vikings were actually, I was getting very nervous because they were marching down the field. They're at the 30-yard line. So I was like, oh, shoot. Lions really got to tighten up here. They got to blitz, get a sack, keep that clock rolling. That was my mindset. But Nick Mullins, he thinks he sees Jay Jettas down the field or Justin Jefferson. He throws it, and Melifonwu picks it. Perfect timing from Melifonwu. He's looked phenomenal these past couple games. He's looked really good. I think he's got 3 or 2 sacks, a forced fumble, and a couple picks, or 2-3 picks maybe. He's looked very good. I'm very happy with Melifonwu and how he has almost kind of resurrected his career this season. Because early on he wasn't doing too good. Last season he also wasn't doing anything too crazy. And he just wasn't. It was kind of seeming like he might be one of those guys during the off season that gets cut. But he was like, y'all ain't cutting me today. Y'all are not cutting me today. He did phenomenal this game. I'm very happy with him. I would love to see him grow more as a player and maybe get starting minutes as a cornerback 3 or cornerback 2. I don't know if he'll reach cornerback 1 status. But I would love to see him as a cornerback 3 or 2. Brian Branch, another player who did his thing. He got a pick as well. He dropped one early on in the game. I was very mad at him for that. But later on, he got a pick as well. Or he got a pick. Sorry, not as well because he dropped the earlier one. But he got a pick. And, yeah, I mean, defense had its ups and downs like the offense. But when it mattered most, they did their thing. But, yeah, I mean, special teams, not Riley Patterson. What's his name? I'm forgetting his name. Money Badger is his nickname. Michael Badgley. Thank you, Brain. Michael Badgley. Yeah, he got not a kick block because he made an extra point. He made a lot of extra points today. He made, I think, a field goal too, but he got one blocked, and it was kind of really crucial, honestly, because if the Vikings got the touchdown, all they needed was the extra point to win. But pretty much, that's pretty much all I gotta say, honestly. It was a very entertaining game. Probably if I was streaming, it would have been one of the most entertaining streams I've ever done. Probably would have been one of the best too, because I wish I freaking filmed my reaction. I was hype. But regardless, Lions, they got it done. They got the job done. They clinched the division. They shut up the toxic fans. They shut up Purple Podcast for the win. I'm sure they don't even know who he is anyway, but they shut down all the haters. They shut down all the media talk about how the Lions, they might not make it. They're not looking too good here. And yes, the Lions have had flaws for the season. They've had their ups and downs, but they're 11-4. They've won the division. And they are doing great. Next stream is the Cowboys. Cowboys-Lions is the next stream. Hopefully the Lions can win out, beat the Cowboys. And I'll also be doing UFC, so be on the lookout for that during the offseason. So, thank y'all for watching. Lions get the dub. Shut up the haters.